Welcome to the Phoenix Recap. In this segment, we'll be going through the tactical mind and mental insight that went on at the Journeyman Season 1 Episode 7. With me here are two prominent names, Imaji, the winner of the FC tournament at Gamerx, and also Chukz Jnr, also here again with us in the studio for this segment. Come on, as we dive into it and give you everything that happened at the Journeyman Season 1 Episode 7. Let's go in. Welcome back as we'll be diving into the match between Yemi and Boyd that happened at the semi-final at the Journeyman Season 1 Episode 7. Before we dive into the game properly, can you quickly speak on Yemi, the type of player he is and how you feel he plays in the game?
Okay, so Yemi is a good friend of mine. We play time to time at home. He's a mentally strong player. He's the kind of player that does on momentum. If everything is working well for him, he will just be playing and be following the rhythm. So he's that kind of player. He's also very tactical as well.
Yes, yeah. Chukz Jr., you are someone that is familiar with Boyd. How would you say he approaches games coming into the tournament?
So Boyd is a fast-paced player. Plays on counter-attacks, very good on the ball, picks his passes well, and it's all about the attack for him.
Concerning Yemi, as you mentioned before, people would say watching the semi-final, he had control of the game. At least he was pressuring at the beginning. But where will you say things went wrong for him or things he did right at the tournament?
Okay, so as far as watching Yemi games goes, I noticed that in the first leg was in control. He was making a lot of passes and he was getting through on goal. He missed a couple of chances. And then when the second half started, when Boyd scored him, I think he lost a bit of composure that led to him making a couple series of mistakes in the game. As we progress, we'll talk more about them.
You mentioned mistakes. How important is it for you to make little mistakes, especially in the knockout rounds?
Okay, so as FIFA is concerned, you spend like 8 hours playing every day just to compete for one day. So if that day you do not put out your best, it's not going to be very good for you mentally going back home because it's so much practice just for 10 minutes,
Great. Let's quickly dive into the points concerning the semi-final between Yemi and Boyd. Imaji, I will take this to you. What are the things you could point out for Yemi?
Okay, so after Boyd scored, like I said, he lost a little bit of composure. And then in the 50th minute, he made a tactical change, which I wouldn't really agree with. Was quite risky. And after I did that, Boyd was able to exploit some weaknesses in the formation because he was pushing out his wing backs. And Boyd is very good at running down the byline. So, yeah.
That's good. You also noted concerning his build-up, Yemi losing the ball during his build-up. How important is it for people to be able to have that patience to say, okay, I want to pass the ball to this extent, Okay, so for example, first of all, if you are losing, you must make sure that all your attack counts because you need to score. So it's not about like 50-50 or being lackadaisical. You have to make sure that your passes are correct and then you have a strategy going to the goalpost. And I noticed that due to a little bit of pressure, he was losing the ball in his build-up, probably going for counter-attacks and rushing passes, taking passes he wasn't meant to take, and which gave Boyd a little bit of momentum. Oh, yes, that's great. Because you mentioned every attack has to count. I'm going to come to you, Chukz Jr. In this case, we saw Boyd taking it all out, capitalizing on the mistakes in which Yemi made in this game. Well, how can you speak on Boyd in this semi-final?
So I noticed as soon as Boyd went 3 goals up, we noticed Yemi did the early tactical change, like 50-something minutes, which opened up space for Boyd. I think he was a bit desperate, trying to get the goal back. Boyd, being a counter-attack player, took advantage of the spaces, went through the byline, cut back, and punished him for that.
The Boyd eventually coming up on top in the semi-final, and I spoke to him previously. Word on the street was he can't handle pressure, but at that moment he was able to take it up and also beat someone who people would say is a great rival against him.
Definitely.
Yeah, in terms of rivalries also, how does rivalry play into gaming when you're competing against people you might even call your peers, but when the game is on the line, there's no friendship.
There's no friendship when both of you are playing. Whatever you guys laugh about is outside the window. You focus on the game and the game only. Whatever you think is going to happen or you think is going to be, just leave it outside the game. You can think of all that when you're done with the game. When you're playing, just think about the game and how to win.
That's good. And winning is what we need in this competition, because in the end, just one person can make it to the Night of Champions. That'll be all for now on the game between Yemi and Boy. We'll be back to bring you the game between Mr. Oga and Gifts. Stay tuned. Yes, we're back to the studio speaking about the game between Mr. Oga and Gifts. Gift being someone who has been prominent here at the tournament, and also Mr. Oga coming for 2 other editions but coming short. Yeah, as we dive into the game between Mr. Oga and Gifts. Imaji, it's been great having you in the studio. Same with you, Chukz Jnr. Just to speak on this game, people might say it's a game that was boring, but there was one thing I constantly heard from people. People mention about ratting, but some people take it lightly, but others don't. But how can you speak on that? What are the good sides to actually ratting the game? So like when you're already a goal up.
So far, you win, you made the right decision. If you ratted and you won, you made the right decision. You ratted and you lost, you made the wrong decision.
Yes, just for our viewers who might not know the meaning of ratting, can you quickly give them a quick explanation on that?
Ratting is denying your opposition the ball, denying your opponent the ball, pass the ball around, frustrating, make sure he's making mistakes, and take advantage of that. Basically, that is what ratting is.
Yes. Just to speak on how both players played in this game, there was a lot of patience, as you want one of the things you noticed. But how important is that in the way in which Mr. Oga for himself also plays?
I've known Oga for a long time. Oga is very, very disciplined. He barely loses the ball at the back. He takes his time to build up. And those are the recommendations. If you want to be a top level player, you must always prioritize not losing the ball at the back. So both of them have similar play styles, and it will show as time goes on how they played and how they were thinking moving on.
Also, just to stick on Mr. Oga, in this game, people have said, when I spoke to certain people, they said he's not much of a meta player. But is that, looking at how the game has been for about 2-3 years now, how are people able to survive, be still sticking to how they're playing the game in the old-fashioned way? Is that something that is a blessing or a curse?
So, for example, there's what we call FIFA fundamentals, meaning that you know how to score, you know the kind of passes to make, you know how to lure defenders. So even if you don't know how to play meta, you don't do traveler, you don't do first time of through, there are certain things that when you know them, you still be able to play the game. But in my opinion, for you to be the best version of yourself, you must use the meta in any FIFA game.
Oh yes, that's good. That's good. Mr. Chukz, in this game, what were the things that you noticed, especially from Gift, someone that you've played against him previously? You know how he moves in the box, how he approaches game. What can you say on Gift?
So Gift is also a very patient player, very good defensively. He uses a bit of metal. He's also a traditional player, uses a bit of player luck, a bit of trivela, but he's also a very patient player, takes his time to make successful passes and try to break the opponents in a traditional way.
Yes, just breaking your opponent is something that Gift was unable to do in this match. If we could look at the stats, we saw that he had 0 shots and an expected goal of 0.0. That's not something you see regularly. But it's a game, people might say the game was tight, but it felt as if Oga had control throughout.
So that's another downside of also being a traditional player, pass, trying to do the basic thing. I think Oga saw through most of his moves, so it was easy for Oga to cover up space in the game, so he wasn't able to take his chances. He didn't take risks, so that's what you get when there's not enough risks in the game.
That's good. Just to come back to you, Imaji, in terms of the team in which Oga used in the game, he used France. How do you think that also helps how he he also plays the game defensively?
To be honest, I don't really like any of the teams they used, both of them. If I was to give my own advice, it would be certainly different from what they use. But at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with the team you are using. So for France, I believe they have a very good not really good, but it's okay, But for the attack, I'm not a big fan of the French attack.
Oh yes, you spoke about the defensive side. One of the things we noticed in the game was how constantly the back four of Mr. Oga wasn't actually even pushing at every moment in which Give tried to attack. The back four were stationary there. How do you think players can improve their defensive game to at least achieve that moment in which there are no spaces left in behind?
So the most important thing is to make sure you keep the structure of your formation at every point in time. When somebody is coming at you, you have to make sure you have your DMs, your LM, your RM, everybody being where they are needed to be for you to be able to defend properly. Once your structure is gone, that's when most people end up conceding goals. And Mr. Oga is an old school player like me. We prioritize having the structure in place.
That's good. Your structure is always very important coming into this tournament, because you can come in with one formation and it ends up not working out for you, but you need to be able to hold your own, and also if I'm to switch to this formation to say, okay, yes, I can still get back into the game. That's good. Chukz Jr., just before we leave this game and move on to the grand final, in which we saw between Mr. Oga and Boyd, would you say Boyd is not someone who can actually take on pressure? Because we saw him at this tournament, he's come third, second now. What do you feel he has to do going forward?
So for me, I think something Boyd has to work on, has to be his mentality coming into tournament. I won't say pressure, because so far so good for someone that have made the top four like 3-4 times now. I think he's beyond pressure. He has to be set out to win.
Do you think
he has to be intentional?
Do you think it's the fact that he supports the club Arsenal?
Possibly. They love being a Ronaldo.
Hopefully, he takes that lightly from you. Yes, that was a match between Mr. Oga and Gifts. Coming up next, we're bringing you the match between Mr. Oga and Boyd. That's the grand final in which someone lost a chance to be at the Night of Champions. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Phoenix Recap. 7 episodes down, 1 more to go. With September being a month to remember, someone has clipped his chance at the Night of Champions, with that being Mr. Oga. But before that, let's dive into the game. Welcome back, Imaji and Chukz Jr. These are two players who we say are one of the best, or if not among the best in the country right now. Would you say in this match that Mr. Oga actually deserves to be at this place?
Definitely, he has to be here. With the performance he has put up throughout the tournaments, he definitely has to be here.
Yes. Speaking on Boyd, also, Chukz before spoke on his mentality. Would you say that's also a case when Boyd approaches games?
I mean, we are very close friends. I would not want to outrightly point out his flaws, but he has some things he needs to work on that we both know, and then we'll be addressing a few of them as we go on.
So let's dive into the game quickly. The game ended 4-3 in the end, but let's speak on Boyd himself. What do you think he did good in that game that actually worked for him, but in the end, we lost by 1 goal down? So what will you say he actually made, the errors he made in that game?
Okay, so Boyd is very good at wing play. Boyd is very good at counter-attacking. But Boyd has an issue with the tempo of the game. Depending on how the tempo of the game is, it could affect his result. So for the first half, he got a goal early on and Mr. Oga replied, and then he got a goal after Mr. Oga replied, and as soon as Mr. Oga got the lead above him, things began to change.
That's but at that moment, would you say people have to, you mentioned previously that you don't change your formation too quickly, but in this case now, would you have said that Boyd should have made some tactical changes earlier on?
No, so it's not everything that needs a tactical change. Some things are just the gameplay, how you play the game and how you approach the game. Because a formation you use now could be what somebody will use to win the game, it could be what somebody will lose the game. The approach is the most important thing.
Oh yes, the approach is the most important thing when you're playing here at the Journeyman in Season 1, Episode 7 that we just concluded. Yes, just diving into it also, you also mentioned about Boyd not respecting his opponents. How would you speak on that?
So Boyd has a chip on his shoulder, you know. So I heard that before the match he has been calling out Mr. Orga. You know.
Wow.
I think he was feeling himself too much, thinking he was going to get the dub over him, and he fell short. So next time he should, you know, reduce the chip on his shoulder.
As people will say. Yeah, that's good. Just to also move to Mr. Oga also in this game, it's a game I felt he had a lot of patience in terms of his build-up, how he moved the ball around. There was no, compared to Boys, as if they are opposite players. He was more of a kind of patient person coming into this game. But how would you feel? How would you say that he actually approached this game?
So looking at the way Mr. Oga approached the game, it was more of a slow build-up. It was still the same tactical play he had coming out throughout the tournament. Held the ball, tried not to lose the ball, make silly mistake. He was very composed, and a lot of time Boyd was just pressing him disrespectfully, not looking at those spaces Mr. Oga was beating him for. And a lot of time you can see that there were a lot of scenarios where he made a last through ball in between the defenders because Boyd was pressing too aggressively.
Yes, one of the instances we could note for that was the goal that led up to 3-2. I was here watching with people in the audience, and once Mr. Oga got that ball at that moment, they were just like, look at this transition, and next thing we saw a goal. It's really great. But for Mr. Oga, would you say this tactic thing which he employed in this, would you say it's something that can carry him further? Because you know everybody has their own various style of plays. But would you say it's something that can carry him to the end to also compete among the people who have also qualified at the Night of Champions?
Yes, definitely. I would say yes, because 4-2-3-1 wide is one of the most balanced formation in the game. And with the way Mr. Oga plays, patient, slow build-up, he still gets the job done. So he has what it takes.
Yes, hopefully he's able to get that grand prize at the Night of Champions. Just to mention one thing also, you mentioned about when chances come, you have to take them. Would you say in this tournament or in this final that Boyd could not take those chances?
In contrary to that, I feel like, in fact, I witnessed that Mr. Oga missed a lot of chances.
Okay.
Boyd actually scored majority of the chances he saw. Mr. Oga missed majority of the chances he saw, you know.
Oh, and in this case right now, the chances in which he missed, it didn't affect him because at the end, as we said before, he's a good defensive player. But for you, just before I let both of you go, which side would you say you prioritize more in the game? Is the attacking side or the defensive side of the game?
That's a very tough question. I think I'm a bit balanced, you know. I want to be able to defend, at the same time be able to attack. I don't really like being in a position whereby I'm good at attacking and then I suck at defending. I try to balance it out. So if I have reached a certain level of defending in the game, I'll try and improve my offense in the game as well.
Same question for you, Chukz. Would you say you're more an attacking player or a defensive player?
I'll say I'm more of a defensive player.
Did you just pick that, or is something you had to practice on?
I would say it's something I've had to practice on because I prefer a game that ends 1-0, 2-1 to a game that ends 5-4, 6-5. So that's it for me.
Yes, and in this game, the game ended 4-3. And that was how Mr. Oga was able to book his place at the Night of Champions. One more episode left, one finalist that will qualify to the Night of Champions. I've been your host with me here, Imaji and Chukz Jr. here in the studio to give you the insights that happened at Journeyman in Season 1, Episode 7. Stay tuned, and we'll release now more information for Episode 8. And just remember, life is a game. Press play.